Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, I'm so glad to have you here and a very special welcome to you. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share with a friend. In my past videos, you've seen me use this to display my earring and my necklace. So today I'm going to show you how to make this DIY cardboard necklace display stand. Yes, guys, it is made from cardboard. So without further ado, here's a list of the items that you'll need. Okay, beautiful people, let's get started. So I got my template from the internet. So what I did was I put it in Publisher and put it as 11 by 16, and then I print it as a tile and put it together, then cut it out. You will also need to cut all the individual pieces off your pattern, and then you can trace it one at a time. Here I just lay my bust part on the cardboard and trace it first. That way I can know exactly how much cardboard I'm gonna need to use. Guys, make sure to use something heavy to hold the pattern down so you can trace it properly, because when you cut it out, you want to make sure that it's cut out properly based on the shape that you've drawn. That looks great. So next, you just put your individual pieces onto the pattern. Use something heavy, just like I said before, and just trace each part at the area where it needs to be. You can already see the shape coming together based on the pattern that we had before, and that looks awesome. Okay, so the next step is to cut all the pieces that you've drawn onto the cardboard individually. You don't want to cut it off exactly, but you want to cut it so that when you bend the cardboard, it have like a flexibility to it. Don't cut it all the way off. Just cut into the cardboard to the bottom layer, but not through the bottom layer, if you understand what I'm saying. Yes. Yes, this is the exact flexibility that I'm talking about. So when you do that to all the sections that you've marked, then you should have the stand being able to basically, yeah, stand on its own. Okay, now that you've had all the areas cut, this is what you want it to look like. Now that I've done all that, I get pieces of cardboard and my handy dandy glue gun. So now I can be able to get it to stand by gluing some cardboard pieces to the sides. That way the arms stand up, and when I put it to stand, it will actually stay that way. it's all coming together right here, and you can see what I was saying about it being able to stand on its own with the support of those cardboards on the back of it. Okay, so with these two individual cardboards, I wasn't able to get the flexibility that I wanted. So I'm going to add a longer piece from one to the other, and that will help it to stay in the position that I put it. So when I put it standing up, it will balance and not like tilt over or try to come back flat. One of the awesome things about this DIY is that anyone can use it to like display their necklaces, especially those expensive ones, in your house, in your bedroom, at least on your vanity, make it look even more beautiful, and it's very inexpensive. You're basically recycling. And now it's fully balanced. So what I'm going to do now is to add pieces of cardboard to the top so that I get that bend in the neck, so it actually looks like a neck. Yeah. And I usually use that area to hang my earrings, just in case I have like an earring that I want to display with the necklace, so I don't have to be adding extra layers to it to get that necklace display. I just use that top area. Guys, glue guns are so handy and so easy to use. I swear everyone should have a glue gun. Okay, now that you've seen that it actually balanced, we'll move on to the next step. This part, we're going to add some tape to it, some masking tape that will help to keep it even more stable. So when you put the tape all over the body, that give it this stability to it, because it helps it to stay up for one, and then for two, it helps with the next step that you're going to do after this one. In this area, you want to clip the edges so that you get it rounded off, like just like if you're doing like a circle, you'll get that rounded off edge where it's not just sticking out. See, just like what I'm doing here, just snip it and then you tape them down individually. That will help to just round off the neck. Okay, now we're all done with that section. Awesome, guys. Next, we move on to the next step. We add fabric. Yes, we're adding fabric to it because we don't want it to look cheap just with the masking tape on it. You want it to look like an actual display stand. So you can add whatever color fabric you want, whatever texture. A thin one works best, but you know, you can add whatever you want. I made mine to look like skin, I guess. What I do is add Mod Podge all over it before I put the fabric onto it. So I just make sure my Mod Podge is enough, a generous amount of Mod Podge. Then I cut the fabric to size and then I just lay it over my display stand and get it smoothed out, sticking to the Mod Podge. Where the tape came in handy here, guys, is you realize when you put your fabric onto the display stand, you don't see any cardboard markings or anything, because we all know that cardboard usually have words and stuff. You don't want to see the words coming through. You just want to see that smooth fabric looking like skin, depending on which fabric you use. With one of mine, I used a brown fabric, you know, to make it look like a brown person, well, a black person. But with this one, you can see a little bit through it, maybe because it's so light, but other than that, it just makes it look beautiful. After doing all that, I just like clip the edges of the fabric so that when I add the Mod Podge to it, I can take the pieces individually and it still have that rounded effect, because I don't want it to be sticking out and then throw my stand off balance. Make sure to add a generous amount to the back, guys, so that when you put the individual pieces to the back, they will not become loose and they'll actually stick. After you finish doing that, you want to add an extra layer of Mod Podge on the edges in the back, because that will help it to stay, okay? And this is what we have so far, guys. The next thing we're going to do is other than the Mod Podge in the back, I'm going to use my handy dandy glue gun and I'm gonna add some to the back, like all over the back, so that I get it to stay, so it won't become loose ever, because the glue gun give it that extra layer of security that the Mod Podge alone might not, or it might, but just to be on the safe side. Okay, so for our final step, we're going to add Mod Podge all over the front of the stand, so that when it dries, it will give the fabric this hardness and a protective layer, so you can't like spill anything on it and the cardboard won't be affected, like if you spill something on the front. Plus it also give it that hardness so it can't really break or anything. It just makes it more like a stand, in my opinion. And there you have it, guys. That's all done. So all you gotta do now is let the Mod Podge dry. Okay, so the final step that you can do is when it's drying or after it's drying, you could add some paper clips to the back, like bend them in a way that it becomes a hook, and then I just like use the glue gun and just glue them to the back. This is totally optional, so I just put 3 on the back and put them in some random places. That way when I put my necklace on it, I could just hook that onto it so I could get different levels if I want. Okay guys, I'm all done. Just imagine some cardboard, fabric, and a little imagination, and you could have this beautiful display stand for your bedroom or your vanity or wherever you want to display your beautiful jewelry. Look at that. That's the 2 that I made so far. Isn't that beautiful? Okay, guys, thank you so much for sticking with me thus far. I mean, who doesn't love a beautiful DIY? Look at that. Okay, so hoping that you enjoyed the video and that you will join me next time for more creative fun and just inspiration and ideas that you can do for your home, for yourself. Hey guys, thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and join us again for more inspiration, creativity, and relaxation.